Hi friends, welcome to another episode of Real Talk series. By the way, this is a 4-part series because it's kinda long and I want to share the whole resignation journey with you guys. And we are starting with part 1 entitled Reasons. I wrote a bunch of reasons why I quit my job as a high school teacher in a public school in Manila, and you might relate with some, so here it goes. There's this one morning wherein I can't stop crying and all I want to do is quit. I kept telling my husband that I'm done, I'm so done, ayoko na talaga, sobrang ayoko na ginagawa ko ngayon, done. And he told me to get a paper. First, list all the reasons why you want to quit. Second, list all the things you can't do while still working as a public high school teacher. And third, list all the things you will do after resigning. So I did it all and wrote a bunch of reasons why I want to quit. Wrote a list of things I can't do while still working in that institution. And last, I wrote a long list of things I want to do after I quit. That time, I didn't realize how valuable that action was. And I thank my husband for pushing me to do that, or else I'ma end up doing nothing, Disclaimer, this is just me and my experience, so don't discredit me or for what I felt for 8 long years of service. Yeah, you got it right, 8 years. Some of you might say 8 years ka lang pala, ako nga dekada na. Some of you might say, buti naka 8 years ka pa. Ako nga 1 year pa lang sukon-suko na. Here's the thing guys, we have different situations in life, but my hope for this video is to help other teachers who might be feeling the same as I did, and to help to clarify things and bring light in their decision-making process. So if you're in the middle of the processing of your decision, you might want to stick to this video or this resignation journey first. Yes, I did process. For the record, it wasn't really easy to decide resigning. It was really a hard thought process. A hard thought to process. It took me 3 years of processing and led me to finally do it. 3 years, guys. 3 long years yun. 3 years of saying to myself, you can still do it. You still have a purpose in here. Kaya mo yan. Called ka dito. Malalagpasan mo rin yan. 3 years of doing that to myself. Little did I know that those years of pushing myself over my limits led me to something I can't control anymore. It was 2019, pre-pandemic. I wanted to quit already. I had 5 years of service that time and it's okay for me. I've tried. I'm thinking I can work as a teacher in Japan or New Zealand or international schools here in Manila. I have other options. I'm still young. That is not the end game, What I'm experiencing that time, it wasn't ideal. I'll tell you why later. Remember, I have a list. So remember that in mind. So I was about to quit, then pandemic happens. My friends at work says, pandemic naman, we're still in the comfort of our homes. Huwag ka munang umalis. Sayang naman, like that. They keep on convincing me with that thought. And I agreed. Okay naman yung setup. Plus, the tech-savvy personality in me loves this idea where we involve technology in our teaching. And yes, I was one of those teachers who promotes technology and hated traditional teaching as just the basic medium inside the classroom, I just really hated doing all over the traditional things in classroom. So, school year 2020 comes. Online meetings, seminars, webinars, online conferences were non-stop. Back-to-back, laging may meeting. And I was on fire. I really love those things, improving education with the use of technology. The quitting process was gone for a while. Honestly, I think that year gave birth to my passion as an influencer, and I developed my new skills and passions and even mastered more creativity in graphic design. Come 2021, February, I was unfortunately voted as a faculty president of our school's organization of teachers. How ironic, just to think of this, it's just popped in my mind, to think that whenever I meet new hire teachers in school, I shake their hands, like magpapakilala ko, I will shake their hands jokingly and I will tell them, Mamich po for president. Now, ngayon ko lang siya nare-recall. But I haven't thought of being one. Maybe president of fan clubs, but not organizations, you know. So I had this huge responsibility in my hands. And the leader in me cannot stop working, planning, deciding, organizing, teaching, improving, and repeat it Mondays to Fridays. Even weekends, I work my ass off. That's how I commit myself into work. I'm proud workaholic. I make sure things are done. Hello, responsibility trait, you know. Since then, my life changed. My view on how I treat people, how I post things on social media, how I value my family and work ethics must undergo quality check always. Because I believe, as a president or as a person with huge responsibility, I have this vast scope of influence. Things are serious now. And I'm so scared people might judge me or criticize me for the things I didn't think about twice or thrice before doing it. I don't know how you will take that, but that's just me. Anyway, I have a different series about my presidency. Subscribe so you don't miss that video. Long story cut, I have a piled up responsibility that is all new to me and I didn't know how to handle or who to ask for. By the way, hindi ko alam na pwedeng tumanggi. Kasi merong mantra or umiikot na sistema sa atin sa public schools na if you're given a task, bawal ka tumanggi. Lalo na kung bago-bago ka or bataan ka lang or baguhan ka lang. Now, every day was like issues after issues. I could still remember I have 8 to 12 calls a day talking to people about things on my plate. I was so desperate of help and how I can get out of this strong. Because, by the way, I didn't run for this position. I was just voted because of their trust. And I value that. And I thank God for that. Because if I didn't do that presidency, I may not be this person right now. I may not be pushed to really know what I really want for life. So, back to the topic. I have no rest day after day, week after week, meeting after meeting, enormous planning, and just working 24/7. Since pandemic, there's no excuse for you to be anywhere and be gone and unreachable because we are all at home. So, alam nila nasa bahay ka lang. So, wala kang excuse. It was unhealthy. It was draining. It really sucked the life out of me. So, here comes that thought again. I wanna quit. Ayoko na naman, like that. And this was the time where I wrote those lists. I was really considering doing it for real. Na this time, ito na talaga. Tototohanin ko na talaga. But I have other personal reasons too that added fuel on my actions to finally do it. 2022 was really a hard year for me and a roller coaster one. I got sick, COVID, twice. I was too stressed from work. I can't sleep with the issues that I inherit from the former officers. I was too busy working and not giving myself a break because I'm a workaholic. Also, on good note, we got the notice that our newly bought house will be turned over to us and ready for occupancy. It was actually far from the school where I worked, around South Luzon, so it was really a hard time traveling back and forth every day. So I was torn between staying in Manila alone, being far away with my family, and moving into a new season with my family to the south. Again, I might have a different video for this because it was really an eye-opening and life-changing for me. I hope to bring lessons from what I experienced. Now, the list. And again, disclaimer, do not discredit me. This is just me. I actually wrote 37 reasons. Reason after reason. You might find this like few, but for me, I have long list. But 37 is sensible, you know. So this is reason after reason. I just kept writing that time, but I will only say my top 10. Because some are too personal, like it's so specific with specific people or specific attitude or specific circumstance or situation. So I will not say those things. Number 1, I was really overworked. I hated the idea of announcement ngayon, deadline later. And that time, I have to work or I have to take home paperworks, and even weekends, I have to work. No time for me time. So I hated that idea. Number 2, I have loans. This is really a big deal for me because when I was a new hire, I really have no foundation of financial literacy. I started learning how to loan in an early part of my career than to save. I have no financial literacy back then. When I was a new hire, uso pa yung tara loan tayo, yung nakaka-addict mag-loan. Because it's so easy to get the money if you want to have something. And nung time nung pumasok ako sa DepEd, 2 months or almost 3 months delayed yung sahod. Wala kaming kinikita. So, napautang talaga ako sa auntie ko for me to makapasok lang araw-araw. At yung baon ko and all, ganyan. Plus, nung nagkaroon na kami ng sahod, kailangan ko din siyang bayaran. So, wala ka talagang buff bago ka maka-start mag-ipon. Ganyan. So, I didn't really learn how to save money for the things I want to buy or achieve. Even my graduate studies tuition, my first instinct is to loan, not to save for it. So, yung uso talaga yung utang ng utang. Reloan after reloan. Kaya walang yumayaman sa amin. Wala akong naipon, baon na baon pa ako sa utang. Kasi ganun kadali. Napaka trending ng mga marketing strategies ng mga loaning companies to us teachers. Kahit yung government institution na nag-offer ng loan sa amin, sobrang dali lang. But there's benefits naman from that government agency. But, again, the goal is for you to save, not to make utang and utang and utang. That's my number 2. Number 3, I wanted to help my students in their school supplies needs. But, I too is suffering financially. So, it's really a sad part on me. Like, nade-depress ako sa bagay na yon. That, how can I give what I don't have? Plus, everything that I use in my teaching comes from my own salary. I wish na the institution provides more for the teachers. Talagang sariling bulsa, like the lapel. Minsan, yung blackboard, pag nasira pa ng bata, ikaw na lang sasagad kasi hindi din naman nila kayang pag-ipunan yon. Electric fans, TV, yung stand-on TV, projectors, lahat yon. Sariling bulsa ng mga teachers. So, if you have a friend na teacher, I hope you have the initiative to help them out. Like, sponsor a classroom, sponsor a teacher. It really is a big help to them. Number 4, reason why I quit. I hated the system. It was so draining. To perfectly do something, then they will tell you that there's changes. Alam mo yun, tapos mo na eh. Biglang, uy, may pagbabago daw. So, ikaw naman, dahil sumusunod ka lang, babaguhin mo. And after like a minute or like an hour, they will say again na there's changes again. So, gawin mo na naman. Print ka na naman. Babaguhin mo na naman and all. And it goes on and on. Minsan sa isang araw, naalala ko, naka 4 to 5 revisions kami ng cover ng isang project. You know, nakakainis yun, nakakadrain yun. And also, they hated the idea of technology. Or should I say, digitalized or systematized way of 1,000 forms that we used to fill out. Gusto pa talaga nila yung pen and paper. Yung tipong tinype mo na-encode mo na, kailangan pa talaga isulat ng kamay. Isulat all over again. Aksaya sa oras, energy, and effort. Ayoko talaga ng ganun. Parang hindi ko na kaya gawin pa yung mga ganung bagay. Number 5, this is really one of the best one of the reasons. I hated serving in elections. I'm sorry, this is just me. It was deadly. It was a terrible experience for me. I don't want to be part of it anymore. I will not risk my life for a payment of 3,000 to 6,000 pesos for a 24-hour service in elections. Teachers, you know how hard it is. I cannot emphasize more. You know it. Quick back memory, no? Naalala ko, sabi pa ng isang principal namin, bayad ka naman! Bayad yung serbisyo mo. It was really hurting and awful thing to say to your teacher, you know, sir. And in my mind, I wanna ask, babayaran din kaya ng gobyerno yung pang-ospital ko sa mga sakit na makukuha ko sa eleksyon? To tell you the truth, nagka-UTI ako that time. 1 week, paano? Walang iihi. Tapos pagkain mo for 24 hours, puro fast food. Tapos, mas mabuti pa yung food ng mga watcher. Totoong ulam. Menudo. Menudo, men. Kami, matigas at malamig na chicken fillet at malamig na pawis na kanin. Sobrang hirap. I really don't want to serve in election. Like, gusto ko naman magserbisyo sa bayan. Pero, grabe yung trato sa amin para kang hindi guro. Parang hindi ka nag-aral ng 4 na taon. Parang hindi ka karespa-respetado. Tapos may time pa, natutulog kami sa sahig. Just been waiting for us to be called up sa line. Kasi pilahan yun eh, pag magpapasa ka na ng mga voting paraphernalia. So, sobrang hirap. Ayoko nang danasin yun ulit. Number 6. I also hated the idea of demo teaching from time to time, you know. And if there's still more you want to, like, as if there's still more you want to prove to them. I get it, and it can be understood for promotional requirement or ranking systems. But for no reason, they would just want to have a demo teaching during seminars. It was unreasonable. Plus, uso pa yung turuan, bunutan, kapag bata-bata ka pat baguhan, kawawa ka kasi ikaw ang unang sasabak sa demo. Hindi ba dapat ideal yung mga masters or head teachers ang mag-demo muna? Para makita ng mga bagong teachers yung mga strategies at ang galing nila para pwedeng gayahin at ma-improve ng mga new hire teachers. Di ba dapat leaders first, then we follow? So, parang yun yung hinahanap ko sa system sana. And I think, isa yun sa mga nag-cause ng trauma sa akin. Kaya may mga panic attacks ako. Kasi tuwing may ganyan, usapang demo, bunutan, nakakaba yun. Lalo na kapag marami kang work, sasabay pa yun. Sobrang stressful yung bagay na yun. Next, number 7. I hated that many are greedy in their positions but didn't know how to function. Plus, they don't want to leave the position. Or they don't want to train other teachers so they could have a help in their task. I don't want to be in this kind of system, you know? Kasi parang, ayaw mo ng position mo, pero puro ka reklamo, ba't ayaw mo bitawan, right? Tapos, hindi ko yun magets. Again, this is just me. Okay, I'm sorry. Number 8, we teachers need to do our best to find our students. This is so funny. Who kept missing our classes. Back in the day, nung tayo pa yung estudyante, we are so afraid if we miss a homework, a project, or if we miss class. Nakatatakot talaga tayo pag nagkakasakit tayo dati. Kasi feeling natin babagsak na talaga tayo. Now, nowadays, ikaw pa ang hahabol talaga sa mga bata. Masama, parang kasalanan mo bilang guro or kakulangan mo bilang guro kapag bumabagsak sila or di sila nagpapasok. Then, if there's some issues went down along the way, the institution or the head teacher or the principal, they value the students more than the teachers. No support system, no protection for teachers. Ikaw pa yung masama at the end of the day. So, sana mabago to. Number 9, very routinary na lang na magtrabaho ng magtrabaho. Like, you will not be successful enough until you reach certain rank in the system. You are not worthy of any praise, gratitude, or attention. Like, you're just nobody. Yet, here you are, drained with observations, drained with demos, drained with paperworks, and extra ancillaries or positions, with tons of pressure from your toxic co-teachers. Grabe. People may say, lahat naman pagod eh. Yes, lahat pagod. Talagang nakakapagod. Pero kapag ikaw yung nasa laylayan, ikaw yung baguhan, ikaw ang pinakapagod. Ibang klase yung trabaho eh. Hindi mo masasabi talaga. Nung naging president ako, iba din yung pagod kapag nasa position. Pero nakikita ko din yung pagod ng mga nasa baba. Plus, mababa din yung sahod nila compared mo dun sa mga master teachers, mga head teachers na pagod sila, yes, kakaiba din yung pagod nila, pero malaki yung sahod nila. Not compare sa mga T1. Number 10, last, one of the reasons talaga na napaalis talaga ako, like, ayoko na talaga. This made me push the button na, ayoko na. Number 10, there's no value for mental health. Or any health at all. Di ka basta pwede mag-leave when you feel mentally drained or emotionally damaged. Or even physical weariness. You can't take a leave for that. Naalala ko, baguhan pa lang ako nun eh. Kahit nasabihin nila dapat maka 3 years ka muna bago ka makapag-file ng leave. May ganong sinabi sa akin dati yung head ko. Grabe, nilalagnat na ako nung pumapasok pa ako sa school. May sore throat ka na, nagtuturo ka pa rin. Parang there's no point. Parang makaka-leave ka lang pag malapit ka na talaga mamatay eh. May ganong moment. Nakakatawa yan pero nakakalungkot siyang isipin. So you need to find someone pa who can take up your classes when you're gone. You need to ask permission and wait for it to be approved first before taking an absent. Like, I felt no value at all. There's no work-life balance at all. So, ito talaga yung end ko na isa sa number 1 checklist ko na pag ito na-checkan ko, alis na talaga ako. Kasi, grabe na, lalo na pandemic, ang dami talaga nag-struggles mentally. So, nung time na yon, parang ito yung one of those greatest reasons why I wanna quit. Kasi it's really affecting me, my peace. And ayun nga, dahil workaholic ako ng sobra, nahihirapan na talaga ako mag-focus sa dapat kong i-focus. Now, these are just some of my reasons. Just some, guys. There are a lot of other factors that affect my decision. And it wasn't really an easy decision. To sum up, I was really not happy anymore. I knew to myself what I want and that I can't find it in my job anymore. So I had to quit. And I'm not urging you guys to also quit. It's all up to you. Lahat yan, at the end of the day, kayo pa rin naman masusunod at magdedesisyon at magpaplano ng buhay niyo. But what I am encouraging is, you need to find your happiness in anything that you do. Hindi lang sa work, hindi lang sa friends, hindi lang sa family, sa finances, and everything that you do, you need to find that happiness. If you're unhappy, it's really hard to live and continue doing it. Kasi minsan kahit mahirap, pero masaya ka naman, kaya pa eh. Nagagawa mo pa siya. Pero kapag mahirap na, masakit na, hindi ka pa masaya, tama na. Tama na, mahal ka ni Lord. Binuhay ka ni Lord for a purpose. Hindi ka niya binuhay para lang mahirapan sa buhay, you know? So, I hope that ma-encourage kayo with this. And I think this video is taking too long, but thank you for listening. The part 2 of this series is about the process, the requirements, and how to resign really. Ano yung dapat i-file na form, saan gagawin, ganyan. Ang dapat kung unang, what is the first step and all. So, check out the next video. We are now in the second part of my resignation journey. Kung napanood niyo na yung part 1, the reasons, thank you so much. Ito na yung kasunod. Kung hindi pa, ililink ko na lang sa description box. Baka gusto niyo makichismis kung ba't talaga ako umalis. So, lalagay ko na lang doon. By the way, this is a 4-part series because it's kinda long and I want to share the whole resignation journey with you guys. And in this video, we're going to talk about the process entitled Requirements. So if you're done listing your reasons, plan out what to do after resigning, and like 100% sure na sure ka na you're about to resign, here are the next steps. Disclaimer, we are in a different division office. There might be slight differences in documents or processing. I'm just sharing what I experienced, and by the way, I'm from Taguig City and Pateros Division. So, kung dito ka din, ito siguro yung eksaktong processing mo for resigning. And if you happen to be one of those teachers who already filed or is filing the resignation process right now, you might want to share your process or documents in the comment section so that other teachers might see it na baka mas makakatulong tayo sa kanila, diba? And just include from what division are you so that they'll know how to process it. And thank you so much for doing that. Anyways, here's pre-registration steps because we're dividing the process into 3 parts. Pre-resignation, resignation, and after resignation. So first step, in prayer resignation. Syempre, I'm a firm believer of faith. And the first thing talaga, we need to pray because it's a long process. And I want to leave the school without any hard feelings and I don't want to be drained more just because of the process. Palis na nga na-stress ka pa. If there's one great lesson I've learned lately is that apart from God, I can do nothing. So I want to make sure I'm doing the right thing. So I really need the guidance of the Lord in doing this. Next is communicate. First, friends. Second is your immediate head or department head or head teacher or first principal. Then, really need to talk to these people. That's really the one big step on the pre-resignation. If you're like me, who got so many friends at work, I talk to my friends about my desires and intentions, and somehow, pagpapaalam na din. In this part, you might or might not do it. It depends on you because when you share your plans to other people, there's a tendency na mabilis kumalat ang balita. You might have a hard time pursuing the process kasi maraming pumipigil or i-convince ka na wag ka na umalis, sayang naman and all. So it's all up to you. But as friends, like real hardcore, closest and bestest friends, share to them kahit yung last day mo na so you can spend time with them kahit lunch out, ganyan. At least, you have the decency. May pinagsamahan kayo, ayaw mo naman silang iwan sa ere ng biglaan na lang. Next is drafting your resignation letter. It took time for me to draft my resignation letter because at that time, I was considering transferring or swapping item or applying in different division in our newly bought house in the south. But that time also, I can't find any vacancy and there's no RQA for new hires dun sa lugar namin. So, that's not an option at all. And I'm gonna show you bits of my resignation letter. But you can get generic copies in the internet just to help you out or just to help you start with it. Make sure to be personal and you didn't just copy it in the internet or from the web doon. So, kailangan talagang lagyan mo ng personal touch yung resignation letter mo. So, here's the sample of my resignation letter. Tinakpak ko na lang yung mga logo and yung mga names, binago ko na lang. But, most likely, ito talaga yung ginamit ko. So, first, you need the header. Siyempre, importante yan. Yung saan kang division of what, then the name of your school, then address of your school, and nandito yung logo ng school mo, tas logo ng school's division office nyo, and date, of course. Then, yung unang i-address mo, syempre, yung school division superintendent. Then, make sure na tama yung name niya, and yung mga seso, sese, 6 niya, ganyan. And then, school office of the school division superintendent, then division of what again. Then through, ito naman yung name ng principal nyo. Kunwari sa amin, si Juancho de la Cruz. Again, invento lang po yan. OIC, school principal, then name ng school. Then sir, kung babae yan, then ma'am or madam. Good day. I am writing this letter to inform you of my resignation from the position as a teacher 1 in this institution. My last day of work will be on. Kailangan kompleto yan and clear yan kasi dyan mag-base yung mga ibang documents mo dyan sa last day mo. Okay? This decision was prompted by my current condition. I'm now living with our newly bought house in. Yan yung reason ko, guys. Pero depende yan sa reason nyo. Okay? We already transferred here last May 10, 2022 due to the reason that we find it very impractical to pay monthly rent. Yan, nilagay ko talaga para alam nila yung bigat ng pinagdadaanan ko everyday, ganyan. So, next would be, I thought I could make it through with traveling back and forth every day, but as day goes by, we felt the heaviness in finances, ganyan. This is not eme-eme lang, guys. So, this is real reason. It is not easy that I need to make decisions so that I could focus on my well-being, be with my family here in the South, in a specific location, and save myself from all the anxiety and depression it brings. It is with heavy heart to be in this particular condition. It is with great regret to be leaving the institution, and thank you for the great support during my time. I will work hard to complete all paperwork and duties assigned to me as I turn over my responsibility to my replacement. Yun, ginagaranti mo din naman sila na hindi ka basta mag-aawol or aalis, nagpapaalam ka, nasa due process ka, dadaan ka sa proseso ng resignation at hindi mo sila iiwan hanggat hindi ka tapos sa kanila. Unless na lang, meron kang hidden agenda at gusto mong takbuhan yung trabaho mo.
So, this is the legal process. Okay? Then, thank you very much and God bless. Sincerely, yung name mo, then teacher 1 or like, ano department ka, depende din sa'yo. So, ito yung sample ng resignation letter. Pwede kong i-link to sa description box ko. Pero again, maraming generic copies sa internet na pwede pinyong kopyahin or pagsimula ng letter nyo sa RL nyo or resignation letter.
Now, the resignation process. You might want to consider this. First, I think the only thing that you need to think of first is the date of your last day. Why? You might want to synchronize it with the salary schedule because there's some circumstances wherein the teacher didn't comply within the processing dates kaya nabigyan pa rin siya ng sahod for the following months. Kapag ganun ang nangyari, babayaran mo yon sa SDO. Let's say lang for example purposes, you have 20,000 salary. Tapos may loans ka pa na hindi mo pa nababayaran sa mga private companies. Then, may kaltas pa yung JES, Pag-ibig, PhilHealth. So, ang makukuha mo na lang na malinis is, let's say, 10,000. Ang ibabalik mo sa SDO is yung 20,000, hindi yung 10,000. Ikaw pa ngayon ang mag-aasikaso sa private lending nung month na yon and ang dami mong gagawing documents. And counted as contribution na yung sa JES, Pag-ibig, PhilHealth, which is okay lang naman. Pero kasi kung aalis ka mag-resign ka nang wala ka talaga masyadong funds or ipon, talaga medyo big deal yun, no? Kasi magbabalik ka ng 20,000 sa DO. Kung 1 month lang naman yung na-follow through na sahod sa'yo, okay pa kaya mo pang gawa ng paraan Pero some cases, may mga co-teachers ako na nag-resign ahead from me na tumatagal ng 3 buwan yung sahod nila bago na cut off yung payroll nila. So, malaking problema siya. Medyo hassle siya. Kasi babalik mo sa SDO at magbabayad ka ng magbabayad. At hindi ka makiklear sa division. Kapag hindi ka na-clear sa division, hindi ka makapag-asikaso ng mga JES claims for benefits mo. So, importante na asikasuhin mo yung last day of service mo. Kailangan makat doon yung sahod mo para hindi ka na magkaroon ng dagdag problema. Now, let's begin resigning. Number 1. Ito na talaga yung steps, guys. So, pay attention. Number 1, talk to your principal and hand over your resignation letter. Case-to-case scenario, bigyan ko kayo ng 3 scenarios. First scenario, have the secretary receive your resignation letter and wait for you to be called if your principal wants to talk to you. Okay? Second scenario, if your principal is available, you can directly talk to him if there's no need for an appointment kasi may mga principal na kailangan talaga ng appointment bago mo sila kausapin. Pero if you're close naman to him or her or like hindi naman siya ganun kahirap kausapin, you can talk to her or him directly. Then hand over your resignation letter and state your case, like a little chit-chat won't hurt. So, pwede mo kayo mag-usap kahit saglit lang. Then, the last or third scenario, have the secretary receive your resignation letter and wait for the endorsement. No need for talking. Hindi naman talaga necessary or needed talaga yun. It's like for decency. Kasi syempre, parang kung corporates, sila pa rin yung immediate boss natin, diba? So, maganda pa rin na mag-usap. Pero if hindi naman na kailangan, okay lang din naman po. Then, next, step number 2. When the principal got your resignation letter, he or she will make an endorsement letter to the superintendent of your school's division office. You will bring that together with other attachments later we will discuss. For now, just file it in a clean folder kasi kailangan yung original copy malinis at naka-compile siya sa folder. Next, the third step. Your principal will ask the secretary or HR personnel of your school to prepare school clearance for you. You will start now going to key personalities or heads or the important people in your school or the committee head, ganyan. And have it sign up, yung school clearance. This time, marami nang nakakaalam na alis ka na. So, you can ask the heads na huwag ipagsabi or ganon. But we cannot guarantee na di kakalat ang balita. Just limit what you share. Alam nyo na yan. Pero if okay lang naman sa'yo na malaman ng lahat, go. Okay lang yan. Number 4, or step number 4. So if you have now the resignation letter, endorsement letter, and school clearance, tatlo yan, you can now go to the division office and submit the documents. You can ask in your SDO the full details, but for me, I need to prepare 5 original copies. Later, I'm gonna show you the list of requirements after these steps para alam nyo talaga yung kailangan i-compile. Next, number 5 or step number 5. When you're in the division office already, they will give you the division clearance. There's nothing you can do about this for now but to wait. Sila na mismo kasi talaga yung magpapaikot nung division clearance mo sa mga kinauukulan. The only thing you can do is to have it signed first by your principal bago nila ipaikot sa DO. So, yun medyo hassle sa part ko kasi nagpunta na ako ng division, tapos kinuha na nga nila yung 3 documents ko galing sa school. Tapos, binigyan nila ako ng division clearance. Sabi nila, balik ka sa school, papirmahan mo sa principal mo. So, balik na naman ako ng school namin. Tapos, balik na naman ako ng DO para ipasa yung division clearance. So, medyo hassle yun. But, wala tayong magagawa, ganun talaga. Next, number 6. Also, on the same day ng division clearance mo, or yung pagbigay sa'yo ng division clearance, they will ask you to request for this document, Certification of No Pending Case. For some, sa HR nyo to nire-request, but for us, nire-request to directly ng teacher via DepEd email, tapos sinisend na lang sa email namin yung mismong certification of no pending case. 1 week to na hinihintay. Depende kasi yan sa SDO nyo kung gaano sila kabilis mag-process eh. Pero, dapat ma-file mo na din siya or makuha mo na yung request mo on the same day na nagpasa ka for division clearance para habang umiikot yung division clearance mo, inaantay mo yung certification of no pending case mo. So, pag wala ka namang kaso, cleared ka, hindi ka mahihirapan. Pero pag may pending case ka, medyo, I don't know the process, pero mahihirapan ka magpa-clearance. Next, number 7 or step number 7, sa GSIS documents, pwede ka mag-print ng sarili mo for GSIS. Makukuha mo to sa GSIS portal. Or in my case, nag-provide na ng documents yung SDO ko. Tatanungin ka kasi nila if magsistay ka ba sa government after you resign, or mag-ibang bansa ka, or hindi na talaga. Kasi dun naka-base yung documents sa ibibigay nila sa'yo. Kasi magkakaibang processing yung pupunta ka ibang bansa, titigil ka lang, or magpapahinga ka lang, or hindi ka na talaga babalik sa DepEd. So, magkakaiba yon. Now, pag-uusapan natin sa susunod na video, after this episode, yung tungkol naman sa pag-claim ng GSIS. So, subscribe na. Libre lang naman yon. Thank you sa support. Next, step number 8, and I think this is the last. For the last document, in preparation na to for the GSIS, tinatawag tayong Declaration of Pendency and Non-Pendency Case for GSIS. You can search it in the Google, meron naman yan, or you can click the link I'll provide in the description box na mga requirements. Ilalagay ko doon yung kaya kong ibigay sa inyo. Fill it out, then have your SDO personnel. Alam na ng mga tiga-DO yan kung sino yung pipirma doon. Then after that, you need to have it notarized. Then after that, kapag pirmado, na notaryo na, pwede ka na pumunta ngayon sa GSIS. Again, we have a different video for GSIS claims. Nakakalungkot malaman yung benefits na pwede lang natin makuha. But thankful pa rin tayo na meron kesa sa wala. So, I think these are the 8 steps that you need to provide for the resignation. 8 lang naman, compare naman nung nag-RQA tayo. Pero, sabi nga sa akin sa DO, kung paano ka pumasok sa DepEd, ganun ka lalabas sa DepEd. Hindi basta alis ka na lang, tas bye-bye na. Kasi kahit pa 1 taon, 2 taon, 3 taon yung tinagal natin, kahit pa paano nagbayad tayo ng GSIS, yun yung hinahabol natin. Sayang din yun, guys. Yun. Congrats ngayon na nakapag-file ka na ng resignation. But wait, there's still more. Pero hindi naman na madami. Onting kembot na lang, makakahinga na tayo. So, what to do after filing the resignation? Hindi porkat nakapag-file ka na, tapos na ang laban. Okay, meron pa rin naman, pero very, very minimal na lang. Number 1, wala na tayong magagawa dito, kundi maghintay at mag-follow up regarding sa division clearance kasi dun talaga tumatagal. Hanggat hindi natin nakukuha yung certificate of clearance from the division office, hindi ka pa talaga cleared at hindi ka pa talaga pwede pumunta sa GSIS. So, sa akin, I think tumagal to ng 2 linggo. 2 hanggang 3 linggo. Kasi may parang may lack of communication between sa DO at sa school ko. Kasi medyo busy din nung moment na yun dahil end of school year, maraming pinapasang papers yung sa school personnel namin. Kaya hindi niya siguro nakikita masyado yung message ng division office to her. Pero buti na lang, dalawa yung kinokontak ng division, yung sa bookkeeping at saka yung sa HR. So, yung HR yung nagsabi sa akin na pwede mo nang pick upin yung documents mo and all, ganyan. So, yun, depende pa rin yan sa processing ng division office nyo. Now, number 2, na what to do after filing the resignation, prepare the things or documents to turn over. If you have ancillaries or position, you might need to turn over some certain documents dun sa pag-iwanan mo ng position. If walang papalit, pwedeng iwanan sa immediate head. Make sure lang to have a receiving copy or proof that they got it para iwas complications sa future. Kasi ayaw naman natin masisi na, 'di ba? Inuwi mo yung printer, ganyan, o kaya inuwi mo yung natitirang bond paper. So, you want that to be turned over to. Lalo na kung school property yon. Then, number 3, clean up your things. Ito yung medyo masaya for me, pero somehow malungkot sa mga friends ko na maiiwanan. Clean up your things on your desk or locker. Make sure lang na wala kang maiiwan na gamit kasi kawawa yung mapag-iwanan mo. Sino magliligpit nun or saan nila itatabi yun, 'di ba? Make sure lang you won't leave anything behind. Or sometimes, you can just give it to your colleagues, baka magamit pa nila, or sell some stuff, lalo na kung bago pa. Like for me, I think kabibili lang namin ng bagong table noon kasi bagong renovated yung faculty namin. So, I had to sell it kasi sayang din naman. Pero yung mga, let's say, contributions mo sa aircon or any contributions mo, hindi mo na mababawi yun kasi naging part ka na nun eh. Pero that's just your legacy. Okay lang yun. So, I think that's it. We are now reaching the end of this video. To sum up the process, para lang ma-clear sa mind natin ulit paano talaga mag-resign. Number 1, make a resignation letter and submit it to your principal or in the principal's office. Number 2, wait for the principal's endorsement letter. Number 3, do the school clearance. Number 4, submit the documents to the SDO and wait for the division clearance. Number 5, wait for the certification of clearance and return copy of your documents. And number 6, prepare for GSIS benefits claim. So, yun lang talaga yung process. Yun lang talaga yung process ng resignation. And I think kung wala ka namang atraso or wala kang utang, medyo madali lang naman. Pero kahit may utang ka pa, like me, may utang pa ako sa private lending companies na tied up sa DepEd, okay lang naman. Nagpaalam lang din naman ako sa kanila na I'm about to resign, ganyan. Meron lang nagbangko na nag-require ng IDs, pero the other bank, wala naman na. So, yun. Sabi nila, pwede naman nagbayad over the counter. So, over the counter ako nagbabayad monthly up to now. And it's okay for me. I think, kasi kung hindi ako aalis, again, dun sa reasons ko, balikan yung part 1 ng video ng series na to. I think right now, mas nakakabayad ako sa utang ko rather than magsistay ako. Wala na akong ipon, wala pa kaming kakainin. But now with my new work, as a virtual assistant, a freelancer, a business owner, mas kaya ko magbayad ngayon. And at the same time, mas nakakaipon ako. Plus, ang saya pa ng work schedule ko. Sobrang flexible and wala masyadong stress and hustle and pressure. If you wanna know also with that, I can make a video for that. Just tell me in the comment section so that I'll be encouraged to do it. Pero yun nga. So I hope na nakatulong tong video na to sa resignation processing mo. Again, you have to pray about it, think about it kung talagang desidido ka na mag-go through sa resignation. And I think lastly, you're now free. Okay, ramdam mo na yung freedom after resigning. I hope talaga na this process helps you a lot. It's not actually a long process, especially nowadays. The school's personnel and division personnel will really help you out sa mga next steps na gagawin mo. Just make sure to ask questions whenever you don't understand something na sinasabi nila. And always have a receiving copy. Importante talaga na mayroon kang receiving copy ng document mo para maiwasan mo yung loss of files. Kasi minsan ganun, nawawala yung mga papers natin sa offices, diba? And future hustles and complication. Make sure lang na natago mo siya ng maayos. Yun lang. And then, and thank you for listening, guys. Stay tuned for the next episode about GSIS claims and how to get it, ano experiences ko sa pag-file noon at magkano talaga nakuha ko. Yun lang. See you. Bye! We are now in the third part of my resignation journey. Kung napanood nyo na yung part 1, the reasons, and the part 2, the requirements, thank you so much. Ito na talaga yung kasunod and I really appreciate you guys for 2 days na naka-upload yung video. Talaga marami din na-respond. Thank you so much. Kung hindi pa naman napapanood, ilink ko na lang sa description box para masundan mo yung steps sa pag-resign at mapadali ang resignation mo. Actually, yun talaga yung goal ko. Kung meron ako napanood na ganitong video series nung time na nag-resign ako, siguro mas napadali din talaga yung resignation ko at hindi na ako nagka-run ng problems sa processing. Though, meron naman ako napapanood and thank you talaga sa kanila kasi very responsive din yung mga influencer na yun. But the thing is, kanya-kanya tayo ng division, kanya-kanya tayo ng situation. So, I feel lang ng time na yun na nanonood ako is parang kapares ko sila ng sitwasyon. So, ginawa ko yung steps nila not knowing that pala may disclaimer na iba-iba nga tayo ng division at iba-iba tayo ng pinagdadaanan. Yun nga lang, baka lang makatulong tong mga steps na na-experience ko very recently lang sa aking resignation. Now, by the way, this is a 4-part series because it's kinda long and I want to share the whole resignation journey with you guys. In this video, we're going to talk about the process entitled Rewards. So, may reward nga ba tayo after resignation? Yes, meron po tayong reward. Regardless kung ilang years ang sinerve mo, meron pa rin naman tayong reward. Bukod sa cash, meron freedom ka na, may time ka na, at lalo may greater opportunity ka pa. Again, sabi ko nga, dapat may backup plan ka bago ka mag-resign para hindi ka basta titigil lang at magpapahinga tapos wala na, malulungkot ka na forever. So, dapat meron kang goals in life. And I'm gonna create another video for making a vision board para mas lalong ganahan ka sa buhay and just looking forward to do more in the near future. Yan. So, now, pag-usapan na natin tong party, resignation, journey natin tungkol sa mga pwede natin makuhang benefits from GSIS. Nilaglagay ako ng mga frequently asked questions, no? And I think ito din yung mga tanong ko noong time na nag-resign ako. So, number 1, what are the claims benefits I can get after resignation? What are the requirements? How to process? How long will it take to get my claims and where? And again, sasagutin ko po to based lang po sa nalalaman ko and dun sa na-experience ko. So, unahin na natin number 1. What are the claims, benefits in GSIS that I can get after resignation? Ano nga ba yung claims and benefits na pwede natin makuha? So, sa akin lang muna to. It depends sa years of service na na-serve natin, no? As for me, again, 8 years lang po yung sinerve ko and below 15 years on. Pasok siya sa below 15 kasi may tinatawag na 3 category. Yung below 15, above 15 years, and yung nag-reach na talaga ng 60 or yung retirement age. Or doon natin titignan yung category natin saan tayo na-fall under. And for me, yun nga po, 8 years na po yung na-serve ko sa government. Now, meron po akong nakuhang termination value, which is TV or like galing po siya sa life insurance. And it is under ELP, Enhanced Life Policy. Yun po yung mga pumasok sa service, sa government service, after 2003. And yung mga life insurance coverage naman po, yun naman po yung mga below or before 2003 sila pumasok kasi may difference or changes pagdating sa life insurance coverage ng GSIS. And then, pangalawa po sa natanggap ko yung cash payment payable at the age of 60. So, dito ako na-frustrate nung time na nagpa-process ako kasi akala ko may makukuhang separation pay talaga agad-agad after resignation. So, hindi po pala. Ang cash payment na makuha ko is payable pa pagdating ko ng 60 kung buhay pa ako pagdating ko ng 60 years old. And may computation po yun. 100% AMC, yung parang average monthly computation mo or compensation. And then, tatimes po siya sa period of paid premium. So, ilang years? Kasi po, iba po yung years ng GSIS dun sa ating portal. Iba din po yung years na nako-compute ng record natin sa school. No? Kasi ang compute natin sa school kung kailan year tayo pumasok Tapos, hanggang anong year ka nag-serve. Sa GSIS po kasi, counted lang po yung mga bayad tayo. Kasi may mga schools talaga na, I don't know po may mga ganun lang po ako naririnig na hindi nababayaran yung ibang months nila or no mga unang buwan ng sahod nila, hindi bayad yung GSIS nila. So, hindi po siya nakakount. Ngayon, makikita niyo po sa GSIS portal nyo yung number of years plus yung days. Kasama po yan. Nakalagay siya in detail. Later, I'm gonna show you din po kung ano yung kinalabasan ng aking service record. So, pangalawa po yon cash payment. And pangatlo po, cash dividend or annual dividend. Ito po yung nakukuha kapag sa mga loans daw po. And later, I'm gonna show you yung mga natanggap ko exact amount. Now, let's go naman po dito sa separation pay, retirement pay, no? Again, disclaimer lang po hindi po ako taga-GSIS. Ito po yung experience ko. Based lang po to sa experience ko. And pwede kayo pumunta sa portal nyo. Very accessible and very updated naman po yung portal. Kung hindi po updated, pwede kayong pumunta sa GSIS mismo at pa-update niyo po yung portal nyo para hindi po kayo lagi pumupunta doon. Itong portal ko sa GSIS, nakalagay po dyan yung kung magkano po yung makukuha ko at the age of 60. Ito na po yung parang retirement pay. Ito na yung separation pay. Dahil below 15 years po ako, one-time payment lang siya. Hindi po siya magsaserve as pension. So, lump sum po siya. Parang isang bagsakan lang siya, tapos after nun, wala na po ako makukuha. So, like, for the people like me na umalis sa government at walang balak bumalik sa government, for now, pwede na kayo mag-SSS, personal contribution, para yun yung magsilbing pension nyo sa future. Or baka meron kayong insurance or savings na gusto nyo maging part ng retirement planning nyo. Mas maganda po yun kaysa sa wala. Now, balik tayo sa GSIS Separation Retirement Pay. Kung makikita nyo po, nakalagay po dyan, cash payment payable at the age of 60. So, pagdating ko pa po ng 60, makukuha yan. And I hope and pray na marating ko yung 60. Nakakatakot lang at nakakalungkot lang kapag yung mga tao na nag-retire ng maaga, kahit 15 years. Yung iba kasi yung ginagol natin maka-reach yung 15 years Kapag yun yung mga tina-target, paano pagdating mo ng gantong certain age na matay ka na, hindi mo na din makukuha to. Yun yung nakakalungkot na sana ibigay na sa atin to. Kasi binayaran naman natin to Pinag-ipunan naman natin to. Servisyo natin to. Sana binigay na lang sa atin. Yun lang yung daing ng mga teachers na katulad ko na nagbigay ng servisyo pero nag-retire ng maaga or nag-resign ng maaga sa service. Not because of our personal issues lang, no? Maraming factors din. Again, balik po kayo sa part 1 series ko or part 2 ng series na to. So, nakalagay nga po dyan yung total length of service ko. Okay. Makikita niyo po, 8.2. 8 years and 2 months siguro po yan. I don't know paano nakakompute yung 0.000, yung after decimal. So, yan po yung total length of service ko. Pagdating naman po sa periods with premium payments, 8.0. So, nasakto siya na 8. So, basically, may 2 months siguro na hindi nakapagbayad yung school namin, I think, or yung DO namin. I just don't know. Pero kung marirecall ko, actually, more than 2 months kaming walang sahod nung una. And I don't know kung nakabayad nga sila ng GSIS. So, dapat yung mga ganito talaga po inaasikaso or ina-update sa GSIS yung mga ating binabayaran. Kasi nakaltas yun sa atin Pero for me, ayoko na ng hassle nun Gusto ko na lang talaga umalis. Bahala na sila. And I'm not also thinking na may makukuha ko kasi hindi ko po talaga alam yung mga ganitong bagay. Nung time na nag-resign ako, nagulat na lang ako na tinanong po ako sa division office namin kung babalik pa ba ako sa service or mag-iibang bansa ako or what. Kasi iba-ibang processing yun, katulad nga po na nabanggit ko sa part 2 ng series na to. So, yun po. Depende po yan sa service nyo, depende po yan sa sitwasyon nyo, at sa lagay po ng inyong account sa GSIS. Kasi may mga factors din po yung mga loans. Kapag may loan ka, babawas po yan dyan. Yung mga may defect sa information, hindi updated yung mga hulog or arrears, lahat po yan nakaka-apekto. Kaya dapat po, kahit isang beses sa isang taon, binabalikan natin yung GSIS natin or pinupuntahan natin yung GSIS just to update our accounts. Kung may loan ka, mag-update ka na or manghihingi ka ng statement of account, pwede naman po yun. Now, for the record lang din po, no, may loan din po ako sa GSIS kasi parang nung time namin, uso yung parang kailangan mo mag-loan kasi pag hindi man-loanan yung pangalan mo, may mga ganong takot-takot nung time na yun. So, napaloan naman po ako, policy loan po ang tawag doon. And I make sure na bago ako umalis sa government, bayad yung GSIS ko. Kasi sabi nila, mas okay na unahin yung GSIS loan ang bayaran mo kaysa sa private companies kasi nandito yung retirement mo, nandito yung benefits mo talaga as a government employee. So, which is okay, tamang move naman po yun. And luckily, nung nasettle ko yun, nakuha ko po ng buo or makukuha ko ng buo itong retirement pay ko at wala po yung ibabawas sa future. Now, next naman po natin is yung tinatawag na termination value. Ito po yung nakukuha sa life insurance coverage. Now, hindi ko po alam kung paano computin talaga to. I'm not an expert. Pero later, I'm gonna show you yung computation nila. And ang nakuha ko lang po is 23,728.78 for the years of 8 years lang. Ito yung insurance ko. So, hindi ko nga alam na may insurance pala ako sa GSIS kasi sabi nila kapag manganganak ka, wala ka din naman makukuha. Yung mga ganun, kapag nakasidente ko, wala kang makukuha. So, parang retirement lang talaga inaasahan sa GSIS. Yun lang tumatak sa akin. Pero, hindi ko po talaga alam at the very beginning. And I think, most of the teachers didn't know din po yung bagay na to, no? So, dapat talaga magkaroon tayo ng brochure ng GSIS. And I'm gonna link down sa description box yung link ng brochure para meron po kayong copy. Now, ito lang pinakuha ko. Pero I thank God na meron pa rin kesa sa wala. 23,728.78. Yan lang po yung laman ng life insurance coverage. Now, hindi ko na po talaga mahanap yung letter ng GSIS sa akin kasi nagpadala po sila ng letter na makukuha mo na. Pero nakuha ko na po sa bangko yung mga cash na to. Tsaka lang dumating yung letter, yung notice nila. May isa pa po ako nakuha, yung tinatawag na annual dividend or cash dividend. Nagkakahalaga po yon ng 65 pesos. I don't know saan po siya nanggaling. Ang sabi lang po sa akin ng taga-GSIS, galing daw po siya sa mga loans ng mga teacher. So, hindi ko po alam kung lahat po ba na nag-loan ng teacher, may dividendo ko doon, or lahat lang po ng niloan ko. Kaya yung iba, sabi nila, dapat pala mag-loan ako na mag-loan para lumaki yung dividendo ko. Parang, ang sinasabi ko naman, dapat wag ka mag-loan, dapat mag-save ka. Ang goal nga natin, wag tayo mangutang eh. Ang goal nga natin, makapag-ipon. 'Di ba? So, yun, hindi ko po alam saan nanggagaling yun. Pero nakakalungkot na isipin na for 8 years, 65 pesos, kung saan man nanggaling yun, ang baba nun. Pero, thank you pa rin po at meron akong nakuha. So, yun po yung tatlong bagay na nakuha ko, no? Now, next tayo sa frequently asked question. What are the requirements for GSIS claims? Simple lang po ang mga requirements. First, duly accomplished application form. Number 2, service record with leave without pay. Number 3, certification indicating specific time and dates of leave without pay. Next is the declaration of pendency and non-pendency of case, DP-NPC. At nakanotarya po yun. Now, meron po kasing dalawang way. Actually, isa lang naman yung way of submitting it. No, via Dropbox, tapos magpa-follow up ka lang via email. Sa email, nadagdagan lang po ng dalawang requirement. So, yung apat kanina, yung application form, service records ng LWOP, certification of LWOP, declaration of pendency and non-pendency, tapos number 5, photo of me with my UMID and e-card. So, ikaw, kasama ka. Hawak mo yung UMID at yung e-card mo. Then, number 6, photo of my UMID and e-card. So, another page po ng photo. Bali, 6 lang. So, lahat po to photocopy. Yung application form po is original, pero lahat photocopy kasi magre-request naman po sila ng original kapag kailangan eh. So, nasa akin pa yung original ng mga to. Sa Dropbox, ilalagay mo lang po siya sa long brown envelope, isi-sealed mo siya, tapos pipirmahan mo yung side ng takip ng envelope para pong election, sinisil, tapos lalagyan mo ng pirma mo, then ihuhulog mo dun sa Dropbox. So, lagyan mo dun siya ng name sa labas, sa harapan. Yun lang po. And then, I'm gonna show you now the application form. Saan po ito nakukuha? You can get this or you can ask for a copy sa SDO nyo po, or you can also download it from the web. I'm gonna link down the description box for the application form. Now, the certification of LWOP. This is from the SDO, the administrative officer po ng ating ng division office nyo, and you can get this upon request. Now, this is one of the things na nakapagpa-hassle sa akin kasi hindi ko alam kung saan siya kukunin. Hindi din ako sinabihan ng taga-DO namin na dun kukunin. Kasi nung nagpa-file ako ng resignation, tinanong lang naman nila ako, "Ma'am, mag-abroad ka ba? Or titigil ka na po ba? Or babalik ka pa?" Ganyan. So, sabi ko, for now po, hindi po muna ako magbabalik sa service. Pero hindi ako mag-abroad na as working. And then, sabi niya, gusto mo ba mag-claim ng GSIS or not? Sabi ko, sige po, mag-claim ako ng GSIS kasi I thought, pag separation pay, makukuha mo kagad siya. So, yun lang yung sinabi. Wala naman sinabi na mag-request ka nito, itong gap kailangan, wala. So, nagkanya-kanyang research po ako noon. Nag-solo research ako nun kung ano yung dapat gawin and paano siya kunin, ano talaga yung makukuha and all, ganyan. So, etong certification of LWOP, sa kanila po yung nanggagaling. Kasi sa kanila talaga, sa accounting, I think, or sa bookkeeping, may record sila ng service records natin. So, doon nila kinocompute. So, bibigyan ka na po nila niyan kapag mag-request ka for GSIS claims. And then, yung service records, alam niyo na po yan kung saan kayo kukuha, sa school nyo or sa HR, or diretso na po kayo ng DO. Kasi sila din naman ng paper mat, taga-DO din naman po yung paper mat, indicating specific time and dates of LWOP. Pag sinabi pong LWOP, leave without pay. Now, so ganito po yung mangyayari sa service records nyo. Nakalagay sa baba nun resign. Anong date ka nag-resign? Ito din po yung nag-reflect sa GSIS ko. And ito dapat po yung naka-reflect sa GSIS nyo. Dapat kung ano yung meron kayo sa paper sa school, ganun din po dapat yung nasa GSIS nyo. Dapat pareha sila. Kasi kapag may mali, kailangan nyo po mag-update ng GSIS portal nyo. Actually nga po, sa payslip ko, nasa step 1 pa lang ako, diba? Umalis ako T1 step 1, pero sinasabi ng GSI sa akin, "Ma'am, dapat step 2 ka na kasi naka 8 years ka na eh, di ba? Every 3 years ang increment. Bakit ito pa hindi pa rin na-update?" Sabi niya, "Gusto mo update niyo muna." Sabi ko, "Naku, hindi ko na po yan maantay. I-file na lang po ko yung pwede sa akin. Okay na po ko sa akin yun. Pero kung hahabulin niyo yun, mas okay kasi mas tataas ng onte yung sahod niyo tsaka yung retirement pay niyo. Mag-iiba yung computation." Now, this is the declaration of pendency and non-pendency of case. So, you can download it, fill it out, and print. Pwede nyo magpa-notarize nito. Pero, dapat mapirmahan muna siya ng taga-DO nyo, yung administrative officer nyo. Later, I'm gonna show you ano yung mga fill out dyan. But, basically, kailangan magkaroon ka muna ng call from GSIS or notification sa GSIS na, okay, nakuha na namin yung, yung submission mo. Then, yun. Pero I think for me, sinama ko din eh. Hindi ko na inantay yung call nila. Kaya siguro mabilis lang din dumating sa akin yung mga pay. Kasi, pinagsama-sama ko na lahat sila dun sa envelope. Kung ano yung pwede kong ilagay dun. Kasi medyo malayo yung main office ng GSIS sa amin kasi nga taga-south kami. So, yun yung nangyari. And I think, nung nag-request din naman ako sa DO namin, binigay na nila, "Ma'am, ito yung mga requirements mo for GSIS. Kompleto na yan. Ikaw na lang magdadala." So, blessed din ako and thankful ako sa division office namin kasi kahit paalis ka na, tinatrato ka pa rin nilang empleyado and minake sure nila na kompleto yung requirements ko at ready to pass na talaga din yun. Ito, initiative ko na lang po ito. Gumawa po ako ng front page, like plain page lang po, wala ng header, wala ng logo. Nilagay ko lang po yung name, position, date of appointment, date of resignation, contact number, dapat email, personal email, UMID number, SDO ko, school and school address, para po in case lang na kailangan nila ng details, hindi na sila mag-email pa, tatawag pa, tapos lalong tatagal yung process. So, binigay ko na kung ano pang kailangan nyo nandyan na lahat sa envelope ko. Ganon. Ito po yung isa sa naging helpful lang din kasi nung tumawag sa akin yung GSIS, hinahanap niya nga din po yung mga date of appointment and date of resignation. Lagi po silang tumatawag yung GSIS about the status of my resignation or application for separation benefit. So, yun, nandyan na yan lahat, then goods na po yan pag nakuha nyo na po yung mga requirements na yan. Madali lang po yan. Mas madali pa po yung requirements na yun kesa sa resignation process natin dun sa video ng part 2 series ng ating resignation journey. Next question, how to process the requirements for GSIS claim? Sabi ko nga po, kailangan nyo maghulog sa Dropbox. Kailangan po talaga maghulog sa Dropbox. Hindi ko po alam sa mga iba't ibang area sa Philippines kung paano or saang GSIS offices kayo pwedeng maghulog. Basta Dropbox siya ng GSIS. And then, after that, magpa-follow up po kayo or magre-resubmit po kayo via email ng mga requirements. Katulad nga po nung sinabi ko kanina. So, pagsasama-samahin nyo lang po sa Microsoft Word lahat ng requirements nyo, isi-save nyo siya as JPEG or isi-save nyo siya as PDF as one file lang po dapat. So, one file lang nandun na lahat. And then, i-email nyo po yan sa GSIS handling branch nyo. Pwede nyo po search sa internet yung mga email ng mga GSIS. But for me, I think NCR yung ginamit ko kasi nandito lang naman ako sa NCR eh. And then, await for the confirmation sa email from GSIS for tentative loan computation. So, saglit lang daw, hindi pa po ito tumagal ng yung pag-confirm nila na, uy, na-receive na namin yung email mo. Siguro mga 2 to 3 days lang po. After nun, sinabi nila na, I'm gonna call you for the processing, gato, ganyan, ito yung gagawin mo. So, nagbigay sila parang nagsabi sila na wait for these dates, tatawag yung taga-GSIS sa'yo. Tapos, after 1 week, tumawag nga po, and then binigyan nga po ako ng computation, pero hindi na ako nag-alala sa computation kasi nakikita po yung computation sa portal po natin sa eGSIS. Yun, nakatanggap din po ako ng text. Very, naman po yung GSIS. Nagre-respond sila, and totoo yung processing nila. Yun lang, ang galing po kasi sa GSIS main, walang pila kasi ihuhulog mo lang talaga. Pagpunta mo doon, hulog lang din. Then, sabi sa akin nung nakasabay ko na nag-retire talaga at the age of 60, sabi niya, 20 days lang makukuha mo na yung claim mo. Sabi niya, kasi parang second, claim niya yun eh. Yung una, yung parang sa misis niya, then ito sa kanya. So, 20 days lang po, saktong-sakto, 20 days, 20 working days, 4 weeks. Dumating na po sa akin yung claims ko, yung mga sinabi kong makukuha ko sa GSIS. Paano or saan siya makukuha? Ayan. How long will it take for me to get my claims and where? Yun na nga po, 20 days po. Minimum yun eh. 20 days. Hindi ko po alam kung ano maximum, pero kasi lagi po silang nagno-notify sa inyo na it's processing na, o kaya pakicheck na lang po, o kaya tatawag sila, pakaantay na lang po, darating na po sa ganitong week. Nagaganon po yung GSIS sa experience ko po And then, nag-message sila, then sabi ko, ang naging problem ko lang po kasi hindi ako nakapagpalit ng name dahil married na ako. So, nandun siya sa UMID, yung e-card, yung temporary card ko pa, hindi ko pa rin naayos or na-claim yung UMID ko talaga. Kasi ang tagal, nawawala yung UMID ko. Hindi ko alam kung saan kukunin, kung land bank ba or sa liaison officer. Hindi ko alam kung nasan talaga yung UMID ko. Pero nakuha ko siya the year bago ko resign. Yun nga lang, hindi siya yung updated. Ang mas updated yung temporary e-card ko. So, doon po nila pinasok sa Union Bank ng temporary e-card ko. Pero sabi po nila sa future, sa separation pay ko, doon siya papasok sa UMID ko na talaga. I just make sure lang doon na updated yung card ko sa bangko para doon pumasok. So, yun lang naman po. Pwede din po kayo magtanong sa GSIS kung may mga concerns pa kayo regarding dyan. But, basically, ito na po yung mga frequently asked questions. I'm gonna show you ngayon po, the next part of this video, kung paano fini-fill out at ano yung mga forms kailangan nating sagutan. So, ito na nga po yung ating tinatawag na separation or retirement brochure from the GSIS. So, hindi ko to talaga guys nalaman until nung nag-resign na lang ako. Kakahanap ko ng sagot sa mga tanong ko, kaka-research ko, nahanap ko itong brochure na to. So, it's sad lang na hindi ko alam, no? Or hindi sa atin pinaalam noong time na na-new hire tayo sa service. So, eto siya. Nandyan lahat. Masasagot talaga lahat ng tanong nyo. Yun nga lang, pagdating sa computation, hindi ko masyado ma-explain kasi hindi talaga ako magaling sa math at kayo nang bahala kung paano nyo siya iintindihan at basahin. Nandyan naman lahat ng details. So, punta na tayo dito sa, ito po, yung tinatawag na life insurance coverage. Yung sinasabi ko kanina na LEP at saka ELP. Yung life endowment policy, yun po yung mga pumasok sa service before August 2003. Tapos tayong mga bago, after August 2003, tayo po ay pasok na sa ELP or Enhanced Life Policy kasi nga nabago na po yung ating policy pagdating sa life insurance coverage. So, nandyan po yan. Ito yung annual dividend na sinasabi. Pero hindi yun sa insurance papasok siya sa loans. Ayan. So, ayan po yung mga meaning. Nandyan naman po yan. Basahin nyo na lang po. And then, sige, bababa ko lang. Ito, yung ELP, dahil under ELP po ako, ito po yung nakuha ko, termination value. Ang ibig sabihin daw po niyan, palakihan natin, the accumulated amount earned based on the premium payment while ELP is in force. Sorry kung narinig yung background, medyo maingay nandyan kasi si Rocky at merong construction sa kabilang bahay. Sana all pwede mag-renovate ng bahay. So, it is equivalent to the 25% of the monthly insurance premium paid which can be withdrawn upon separation or retirement. So, nakuha po siya upon separation or retirement. Ako, dahil separation yung nangyari sa akin, nakuha ko din po siya. Upon hindi naman siya at the age of 60. So, pag nag-resign po kayo or nag-retire kayo, whatever year at inasikaso nyo ito, makukuha nyo na po yun agad. This one, death benefit, kung active member pa po ako, equivalent to the last annual salary multiplied by 1.5 compare. Eto, hindi po ako sure kung kasama pa po ako dito since inactive na ako, kung pasok pa rin ba ako dyan. I don't know. I'm gonna ask siguro sa future. Hindi ko pa naman siya kailangan. Pero, it's better din na malaman din talaga natin. Then, annual dividend based on the termination value and earnings of the social insurance fund. Then, policy loan equivalent to 90% of the termination value. Yan yung mga benefits natin sa life insurance, no? So, kung hindi nyo alam, yan po yung mga makukuha nyo. Then, retirement modes. So, I think, ito, eligibility ng retirement pay ng GSIS. So, number 1, you must render at least 15 years of service and must be at least 60 years old upon retirement. Ngayon, di ba may bago ng pinapanukala na 55, 56 years old, that's better. Pero, 15 years of service para makuha mo yung pension retirement fee. So, sa mga naka 15 years or nag-i-aim maabot yung 15 years bago sila mag-resign or retire, meron kayong dalawang choices of the retirement benefit. Pero, ang sinasabi lang po sa akin ng GSIS that time is, kailangan ma-make sure mo na naka 15 years ka talaga. Kasi, minsan may mga teachers na naka 15 nga. Tapos parang, let's say, 14 years and 10 months. May 2 months ka na naka-leave ka kasi nagkasakit ka and all. So, hindi siya pasok sa 15 years. Dapat yung kinakount nga, again, dun sa GSIS portal service record natin, dun tayo magbe-base. Hindi po yung alam lang natin na pumasok tayo ngayong taon at gantong taon na tayo. So, hindi dapat ganun yung computation. May computation po si GSIS based sa service record or pagbabayad natin ng premium plans natin sa GSIS. So, make sure lang po na 15 talagang eksakto yon bago ka umalis. Kaya iba sinasabi, magpasobra ng 1 taon, 2 taon, ganyan. Nasa sa inyo po yon. Next, kayo na lang po magbasa niyan kasi hindi naman po ako pasok dyan. Pero, nandyan po yan sa retirement brochure. Now, i-highlight ko lang po to. Ang ibig sabihin po ng AMC, Average Monthly Compensation, and PPP, Periods with Paid Premiums. Yan. Kasi lagi nyo po makikita yan sa computations. So, basahin nyo na lang po kung under po kayo, pasok po kayo sa eligibility nung 15 years and above. Now, this one naman po, ayan, makikita nyo na to, itong table na to, very, nakasama rin na yung pinakakailangan natin malaman. So, sabi dyan, age, below 60 years old, pasok ako, diba? PPP, at least 3 years, but less than 15 years. So, pasok din ako dyan, kasi, nakalagpas naman ako ng 3 years, kasi nga 8 ako, diba? Pero less than 15. So, ito talaga yung, pasok sa competition ng retirement ko. Dito, check natin. Below 60, yes, below 60 ako. Pero at least 15 years, hindi na kasi naka 8 years na ako. So, X yan, hindi tayo pwede dyan. Dito naman po, at least 60, hindi pa ako 60 years old. At least 3 years, but less than 15 years. So, dito, kapag ang galing na may nagsabi sa akin, taga JSIS na office. Hindi ba siya officer, pero dun siya nag-work sa JSIS. Sabi niya, pwede ka naman balik ka na lang, sabi niya gano'n. Mga 55 or 50, 51 kung gusto mo pa magturo sa college, maging professor. Kasi at least 3 years lang naman kailangan nila. Tas, pwede kang magkaroon ng retirement pay sa JSIS. So, yun. Pero I don't think din na ma-hire ka as public school teacher ng ganong edad. Kasi nga, hinahanap nila mas bata, diba? Mas fresh and updated, diba? Pero, syempre, din yun. Pag-isip ang mabuti, mag-trabaho ka pa ba? Pa-retire ka na, diba? So, yun lang. Pero may chance pa rin po makakuha ng retirement fee ang mga age 60 kasi nasa, po yan, policy guidelines ng JSIS. So, ako, nandito lang po ako sa number 1. Yung number 2, kung nandyan po kayo, makukuha nyo po to, yung 18 months times BMP, tapos upon separation, magkakaroon po kayo nung, yung competition na to, magsa-start po yan hanggang mamatay po kayo, may pension kayo. Yun lang yung maganda kapag naka 15 years ka. No? So, kung abutin nyo pa po yung year na yon, kung buhay pa po kayo ng retirement ng 60 years old, 'di ba? So, yun, nasa sa inyo po yan. Pag-isipan nyo po mabuti yung resignation nyo kasi yan lang siya. And, since separation benefit has a prescription period, application should be filed within 4 years from the time of separation from government service. Ito yung crucial. Kapag hindi ka pa makapag-decide kung babalik ka o hindi, kailangan within 4 years talaga makapag-decide na. Kasi pag hindi po, after 4 years, wala na. Wala kang makukuha kahit 5 sa JSIS. Goodbye na lahat ng binayad natin. Now, sino yung mga hindi makakakuha? In scenario 1, nag-abroad ka na, hindi mo alam to, hindi ka nakapag-file. Goodbye na kung more than 4 years ka nang wala na sa service as hindi mo na-file. Scenario number 2, hindi ka pa cleared sa division nyo kasi may utang ka pa or may hindi ka pa nababayaran, may atraso ka pa. Hindi ka din makakakuha or makakapag-file ng JSIS claims mo kasi hindi ka pa clear sa division mo. Lahat or mostly ng requirements para sa application ng JSIS, manggagaling po sa ating division. Pipirmahan po yun ng administrative officer natin kung properly resign ka, hindi ka awol or something. Sayang po kasi talaga yung JSIS kasi binayaran natin yun, guys. Pinaghirapan natin yun. Magkano yun? Mga 2,000 mahigit, diba? Yung monthly na kinakaltas sa atin. So, para sa yun, sa yung money yun. So, yun. So, sana makapag-file kayo before matapos yung 4 years. Ako, honestly, magpa-file pa lang ako. 8 months pa lang naman akong resigned eh. So, magpa-file pa lang ako nito kasi iniisip ko kung babalik pa nga ako, kung gusto ko pa ba talaga or what. Pero, sa lagay ng status ng work ko ngayon, as freelance and VA sa bahay lang naman, comfort of my home, I think I can do well naman. And again, may backup plan tayo ng SSS and insurances and all, and savings. Yun talaga yung mahalaga. Kaysa naman nandyan ka, diba, puro ka naman loan, wala ka naiipon, ba't pa nagsistay, diba? Bakit ka pa nagtitiis kung hindi ka naman nagpa-prosper, tapos toxic na, unhealthy na, yan, nagiging bitter na naman ako. Pero yun nga, balik sa GSIS claims. So, yun, kailangan makapag-file tayo within 4 years from the time of separation sa government. And yan, basahin nyo na lang yung iba dito, pero kailangan maintindihan to at maturo talaga to sa mga new hire, kasi kung hindi, sayang di nila alam yung mga benefits nila. Tulad ko, nung time na nasa government pa rin ako. So, yan. Isasend ko na lang po to, lalagay ko na lang po to sa description box below para makita nyo po. Next naman natin is etong application for retirement separation life insurance benefits. Dito, yan, fill up nyo po lahat yan, yung mga basic details. Tapos dito, sa retirement separation benefits previously availed if. Kapag meron ka ng na-avail dyan, pero dahil wala tayo checkan dyan. Dito naman, I have the honor to apply for. So, tulad ng pinag-usapan natin kanina, saan ka ba pasok na batas? Yung below 60, yung below 15, above 15, or 60 years old. Basahin nyo na lang po, nandyan din naman po iyan. And then, ito wala akong sinulat dito. Pero, I don't know lang kapag pensioner ka na talaga, for retirement ka talaga, baka may kailangan kang fill upan dyan. Tapos, dito na po ako sa separation benefit. Below 60 years old, with less than 15 years service. Check. Date yan, kung kailan ako nag-resign, tapos sign. Then, life insurance benefit. Type of life insurance. Compulsory, I think. Tapos, ito yung GSIS nagsulat dyan eh. And then, type of benefit applied for. Cash surrender or termination value. Resignation, separation from the government. Yung akin. Tapos, yun na. Sulat dyan. Tapos, ito, sila GSIS na. Ngayon, makikita nyo din naman lahat to. Actually, dito ko na una pong nabasa yung tungkol sa case ko, kung saan talaga akong magpo-fall under. Kasi, nauna ko tong nakita application form bago ko nakita tong retirement brochure. So, yan. Diyan ko siya naintindihan. Diyan ko binasa. And, ayan, nakalagay naman ko ano yung mga requirements. Tapos, ano yung mga next step. Tapos, after po niyan, sasama nyo po yan dun sa mga forms nyo. Tapos, ito naman po yung declaration of pendency and non-pendency of case. So, sulat nyo din po ulit yung basic details nyo dyan. And then, lagay nyo po, no pending case. Kasi, di ba, binigyan naman po kayo ng certification of administrative, no pending administrative case. Pag no pending, pwede nyo na po lagay dyan, no pending case. And then, signature over printed name. Tapos, ito po, anuhin nyo na muna po, papirmahan nyo muna po sa administrative officer nyo, sa division office nyo, bago nyo siya ipanotaryo. Yung nagulat nga po kasi binigyan na po ako ng ganito eh, ng kopya nito sa DO, kasama nga po nung file nila. Tapos, yun, pinanotar ko na lang din siya after ako sabihin ng GSIS na pwede na ako mag-claim or mag-start mag-process nung GSIS separation benefit claim ko. So, yun lang. To sum up our topic about resignation journey, we have still rewards. Thankful pa rin tayo na meron kesa sa wala. Yun nga lang, may mga dalawang klase kasi ng tao yung may perspective, I think lang for me, regarding sa separation from government. Yung una, syempre, yung iba kasi matapang eh. Yung parang pinaglalaban talaga nila yung para sa kanila. So, okay lang din naman yun. Kung alam nyo po yung right nyo, wala naman pumipigil. Kung hanggang alam nyo yung stand nyo, go lang, paglaban nyo kung ano yung meron kayo. Pero, dun sa isang part naman, isang perspective, thankful tayo kahit papano meron. Kasi iba nga nagre-resign, nagre-retire, walang nakukuha eh. Or yung iba hindi nila alam, kaya hindi na nakukuha. So, with this, I hope it bring light And nakadagdag information to sa pag-resign nyo or sa processing of deciding kung mag-resign kayo o hindi. Kasi kailangan nyo pag-isipan nyo yung time. Dapat na ba akong mag-resign o hindi pa? Ako, again, with a short background lang, no? Kaya ako, bakit ang laging tanong nila sa akin, ba't hindi mo tinapos yung kahit 10 years lang or 15 years? 'Di ba? Sabi ko, bakit ko pa patatagalin? Ganun lang din naman makukuha ko. And talaga, promise po, promise. Nung time na nagde-decide ako to resign, magiging niyo sa part 1 ng series na to, talagang hindi na healthy for me yung job. Sobrang stressful siya. And at the same time, may mga personal goals in life pa ako na gusto kong ma-achieve. Na feeling ko, pag nag-stay pa ako sa DepEd, feeling ko mamamatay na ako anytime soon. Ganun na siya ka-stressful. Parang like ko niisip na, naku, hindi ko naabutin yung 60, mamamatay na ako. Sobrang grabe yung trabaho, yung stress na binibigay niya, yung pressure na binibigay niya. Tapos, sabayan pa ng mga taong hindi mo makasama, makasundo. Or kahit anong gawin mo, kahit anong gawin mong pagpiplease sa kanila, hindi talaga umaayon sa'yo or hindi talaga nakikisama ng maayos. So, ang hirap po nun, no? Yung sinasabi ko sa inyo na mahirap magtrabaho kapag hindi na masaya. So, with that, I think, yun talaga yung deciding moment ko. Ba't papatagalin ko pa? And, sa totoo lang, mahirap talaga mag-decide for the resignation. But I think, the reward comes after obedience. Laging ganun. I think that's one of the things na natutunan ko lately. Na nandun lang yung reward kapag sumunod at nag-obey tayo. So, I think this is just one will of God for me to just obey and trust His process. And right now, sobrang saya ng life ko ngayon kasi I have all the time with my family sa bahay. I have all the time na pwede akong bumisita sa friends ko sa work, ganyan and all. I have all the time to do ng mga bagay na hindi ko nagagawa nung time na nasa DepEd pa rin ako. Pero ngayon, na-enjoy ko. But I'm not discouraging everyone, no, na mag-DepEd or wag mag-DepEd. Kanya-kanya kasi tayo ng calling, kanya-kanya tayo ng strengths. Kung para dyan talaga kayo, guys. Yun lang ang, I think, maiwan ko for this video before we close. So, yun na, I think we have one more video left. Dun ko mas pag-uusapan yung about what really is after the resignation, about claiming what is my life right now after resignation and why I have all the rest that I have in the world right now. So yun lang. I hope you guys learn a lot from this video and I thank you guys for supporting me. Please subscribe. Libre lang naman yan. Di yan masakit. So please do subscribe and if you wanna get more updates or videos soon, please tell me. Baka maka-encourage akong gawin yung bagay na yan. Thank you guys. So yun lang. Bye. Ang bilis yung bye. Bye! We are now in the part 4 of my resignation journey entitled Renewed. By the way, if you haven't watched the part 1 to 3 episodes, I'll put the link down in the description box. So now, let's talk about what to do after resigning. Remember in part 1, I've told you about the list of reasons, the list of what to do after resigning. This is the part where you do that, where we do that. The biggest question of all, nahaharapin talaga natin, what are you going to do next? Think of that for a second. What are you going to do next? It will be very overwhelming because you are now free. You know, you have all the time in the world. You can do a lot of things. Things you can't do while having that 8 to 5 job, Mondays to Saturdays, and even Sundays. So in this episode, I just want to encourage you guys. And I'll just share some stories of mine of what I did after resigning. So is it really worth it? I'm blessed to have a husband for telling me to do those lists, remember? Or else I'll be more depressed. Who else quits their job during pandemic where people kept looking for a job to have an income? That is so ironic. Like, what the hell are you thinking, ma'am? Why will you quit? This is a stable job. This will give you a decent retirement plan. But here's the thing. I'm looking for a financial freedom, an increase where I value my health, my both mental and physical health, where I can do the things I want or love, like hobbies or travel. And at the same time, where I can earn hobbies or travel. And at the same time, where I can earn finances. Remember, pandemic is so hard for me or most of us. Ang dami talaga ako personally na namatay na kakilala. And those are the moments na nasasabi ko sa sarili ko na life is really so short. I don't wanna end up dying na hindi ko man lang nagawa yung mga bagay na gusto kong gawin or ma-achieve sa buhay. And I think continuing in that work habits, parang hindi ko to ma-achieve sa life ko, yung mga dreams ko. So, that's one of the reasons why I quit. You might think that, is it really possible to earn and to do those things you want both at the same time? Yes, it's possible. But disclaimer wala po akong binibenta dito na easy income generating or anything. But what I'm encouraging you guys to do is just 2 things. This is what you're gonna do after resigning. It's just me, guys. Disclaimer lang yun. So this is what you're gonna do after resigning. Rest and be renewed. First, rest. You deserve that. You give yourself some rest. Ilang taon ka ding napagod sa trabahong yun. Ito talagang kinikrave natin yung pagpapahinga. So, pinakauna talagang gagawin is rest. Again, dapat may plans ka talaga after resigning. Like, think of how's your finances kapag umalis ka. Strategically plan the weeks or months after resigning kasi malaking bagay talaga ang mawalan ng trabaho. But malaking bagay din yung mga reasons mo, so don't invalidate that. Buhay mo na yung pinag-uusapan dito Why would you still continue living like that for the rest of your life? Or would you like to continue your life like that? So if not, plan your life. Have visions or goals or even missions. I have a separate video for vision boards if you want to know how to do it. But basically, you have to plan your life. Kasi if wala kang plano after resigning, dun papasok yung depression dun papasok yung anxiety. Ano na bang gagawin ko next, diba? So, you basically plan. And mahirap din magpahinga kapag yung utak mo puno ng worries, ng anxiety na, paano kami kakain the next week, the months, diba? Ano nang gagawin ko, ganyan. So, you basically need to plan for your life after resigning. It's a necessity. So, first thing talaga is rest. The next, in relevance with vision boards, is renew your mind. What are the things you've learned or developed that brainwash your principles in life or the things that made you forget in pursuing your dreams? Kasi maraming ganun. Ako, naramdaman ko yun Parang, nung fresh grad ako, ang dami kong pangarap, ang dami kong gustong marating, ang dami kong gustong gawin. But things change when you work, ako, lalo na sobrang workaholic ako, na nakalimutan ko na ibang bagay kasi ang nasisip ko na lang work. But the thing is, some will say na kaya ka naman nag-work para sa pangarap mo. Yes. But the thing is, in my situation, or most of the situations sa teachers, yung mga loans, how can we fund our dreams if bound kami sa loans? And maraming reasons ba't naglo-loan ng teacher. No? Pag nabalikan niyo yung part 1, 2 ko, marirealize nyo yung pinanggalingan ko why I have loans. But basically, ang hirap mag-ipon kapag maliit lang din yung sahod, tapos may loan. So, this is very essential, yung pag-renew ng mind mo. Kasi, if we will not do this, there's a tendency na we will just go back to the ways we were before. Like, kahit anong trabaho mo or mahahanap mong trabaho or yung gagawin mo after resigning, kung ganun pa rin yung lifestyle mo, ganun pa rin yung perspective mo about finances, yung work habits mo, yung financial plans mo, di mo pa rin mababago yung buhay mo. So, it's very important to renew our mind. Our goal is to increase, not just in finances, but in everything. If you're like me who feel like you've lost every good thing in your life during those working years, this is the time to bounce back. Push forward and win. Let's fight for our goals. Let's fight for our dreams. Baunin natin lahat ng natutunan natin sa previous job natin. But let's give ourselves then some space to learn and adopt new things. How can you renew your mind? It depends on you actually. What are the things you want to have a new perspective on. But you can start on reading. Reading the Bible, because apart from God, we can do nothing. Spend time or spend quality time with you and God alone. Next, read some motivational books to just pump you up on your next moves. Kasi, syempre, may ganun, I'm just sharing my experience na may ganung moment na nawalan ka ng desire to do things. So, you're just enjoying. Parang you feel like guilty of resting. Kaya parang, nung natuto ka naman magpahinga, parang ayaw mo ng kumilos. Ganyan. So, you need some motivation to keep going. Then, you can also develop new habits, develop morning routines like take some walk or jog or just spend time just being quiet or like enjoying yourself in silence of the nature or the environment you have. Diba? And basically, enjoy your life. You know, eat the food you want. You spend time with your family. You go out on dates. You know, you go with your friends out. So, just enjoy your life. Just do the things you can't do noon or you haven't been doing nung nag-work kasi puro ka trabaho. So that when you feel rested and renewed, you are up for the next challenge. You or the next season of your life. Now, you become stronger, you become happier, you become an overcomer. Believe and manifest the great things are about to happen in your life. Like, let's move on from the past and start building your future. I hope and pray that all teachers who's undergoing this journey will see the light in this and be comforted that good things are about to happen. And actually, I'm ending this episode. This is really quick. I just want to give thanks to the people who keep on messaging me sa Facebook and email na malaking tulong tong series ito. I feel love, guys. Actually, ilang beses na akong sumuko sa pagbibuild ng YouTube, but the reason is just that I just want to keep helping other people with the things na kaya kong gawin. So, mission accomplished yun kapag may mga nagme-message sa akin na nagte-thank you, na natulungan sila, nagkaroon sila ng sneak peek on what's the process of resigning, ganyan. I really feel like I'm so grateful right now with you guys. Ito talaga yung reason bakit ko ginawa tong series na to. Kasi nung time na nag-resign ako, sobrang dami ko talagang tanong na hindi ko alam kung kanino ko itatanong. At wala din naman gustong sumagot kasi di din naman sila pa nakakapag-resign and all. Tapos, ang hirap din lapitan ng mga taong involved sa resignation. Kasi, syempre, bukod sa teacher din sila, hindi nga nila talaga alam paano mag-resign pa. Kasi hindi pa naman sila nag-resign. So, puro din ako search sa YouTube or internet. And I thank God for those resources. So, I'm just paying it forward. Yung lahat na natutunan ko sa resignation ko, I'm just passing it through so that you guys can learn also from this. Kahit na, alam ko magkakaiba tayo ng sitwasyon and division. So, I just hope someone would relate to my experience and magka-idea ng process. So, from pre-planning, from deciding pa lang, to after resigning. Kasi, malaking bagay yun yung malaman mo kung ano talaga yung mangyari during resignation and after resignation. Malaking factor yun sa pag-desisyon eh. Kasi, if you would just want to quit nang wala lang, mahirap yun, guys. Unless, mayaman ka talaga. Like, you have all the ipon in the world to spend, diba, after resigning. Okay lang, go na. Pero, kapag tulad ko na may loans, tapos, wala akong, hindi ako basta-basta noon, nung time na nag-resign ako, wala akong plano kung anong gagawin ko after. Kasi, ang dami kong gustong gawin eh. Like, I want to build a business, I want to work abroad, I want to work in international schools dito, o kaya, mag-travel, ang dami kong gustong gawin. But, I really thank God for the list. Importante talaga yung maglista ng reasons why I wanna quit and what should I do next. So, it's really a tough journey, guys. But, thank God, we are loved and blessed to overcome this season. So, to those teachers who are resigned now, cheers, guys. I'm so proud and happy for you. So, now, go live your dreams. And I think I'm ending this episode with this. I just hope that you guys feel encouraged and see the light in this season. matatapos din yan kung ano man yung problem nyo. And just keep on messaging me if there's some things na I could be a help of. I can do that. I have all the time in the world. And flexible naman yung work ko. So, if you guys wanna know more of what I do, stay tuned for more videos. I'm gonna make some of it kasi I think that nandun talaga yung heart ko to help teachers out, you know. Nandun talaga yung mission ko or purpose ko to help those teachers na in need of encouragement. So, see you guys in the next videos. Bye!